There. Okay. Now I've got sound. So fire lit on the winning mentality. I know I think I've probably written down the most quotes that I've ever written down before. Inky Johnson is fire, guys. If you're not following him, definitely make it a point to go follow him today. That was the first thing that I did. I was like, and new best friend. Tay, what did you take down?
Man, what didn't I take down? I was like, all I need to get on here and say, go follow Inky Johnson. Like the dude is just not just his story, but just his mindset, his mentality, and just his perspective on life in general is just something that you just want to take on and start seeing things in the way he sees it, man. Just so much good out of it, man. Just from the early age of him in the high school that he wanted to attend, and just having the mindset that, you know, people like dreams are tied to my dreams. Like I'm either gonna be an excuse or not, or I can be an example. And he chose to be that example, and he always led his life just full of character, full of integrity, and just with that mindset that people are watching me. People's lives are dependent upon the actions that I take, and I think that just something just sticks out about him, and just his humility, man, is just crazy. So he just so much, man. And so I love that about him. And the thing that I love that he said, make your vow more important than your circumstances. And just the fact that when he got hurt, he said, like, within a week, I was already back with my teammates. He was like, I didn't say all these things and put on the end. If I get paralyzed in my right arm, then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do this. And if this happened, I wouldn't do it. He said, I would do this. And that's what I stuck my word on. And he just continued to show up because he said, I made this promise to my brothers. I made this promise to myself. I made this promise to my family back when I was just 14 years old, and I'm going to continue to stick to that. So that was just powerful to me. And I love the fact when he was talking about when he did do all these things, and Ed kind of brought something to his attention. He said, I never realized this. And he said, just listen to the story that you told about the coach that came into your life and what you did when you got hurt to your teammates. And he said, sometimes we model the behavior of our heroes. And I was like, wow, that is powerful. And it got me to thinking, like, who are the heroes in my life? Because many times when situations get tough or when we're just going through ordinary life, like we're going to model the behaviors that we saw in them because we wanted to, like, we respected them so much and we just appreciated everything that they've done for us that we wanted to try to mirror that behavior. So I think you have to be intentional of identifying your heroes, knowing that sometimes it's not just the heroes that we model, but it's also the villains. It's also the bad people in our life who continue to show up, who we continue to give our time to. So I think you just have to be intentional about the people that you're following and the people that you're giving influence in your life. The fifth thing, and I'll just leave it at this because he just has so much good that I just let you guys, if you want to just go through this again and listen to it, just do it. But it was just so much, and I love the fact that he talked about that discipleship deal and how when he was before everything happened, years of just prior to that, just building up into it and just going through this discipleship with his teammates. And he talked about, like, when the situation happened, he had them there to remind him of everything that he's been to. And he talked about how scripture, you know, that is what ultimately kept him rooted in this unwavering faith. So what I got from it was you need to be building a moral warehouse. Like, it's almost like if you see guys who like to build things, like they're always carrying around this tool belt full of tools. And I think the same thing for us in life. Like when I do personal development, like I said, you don't just do it to do it. You do it because you know there's going to come a time where you're going to need to pull something from that tool belt to help repair something that's going on in your life. So I think you need to build a moral warehouse within yourself, within your kids, so that when tough times do come in life, when things do happen in life, you're able to go back to that scripture. You're able to go back to some of the things that you learned from personal development. You're able to go back from these things that you've gathered in the past and use them to help you just continue to not waver in your faith in the present circumstances. So just continue to show up, continue to do the things that you need to do every single day. Because like you said, like you're building your character every single day. Every single day, you're doing something to build your character up to where you are strong enough to overcome whatever that's going on in your life. And just the last thing that I'll leave you guys with, and it was just something I've been listening to, just a couple sermons on YouTube. And I was listening to this one preacher. He said something about just circumstances and, you know, how people view things that's going on in their life. And he said one way to measure the strength that God has given you is to measure it against your circumstances. He said, whatever you're going through in life, you have to understand, like, God has given you a measure of strength that's going to match that and go overboard. So whatever you're going through is not meant to break you. It's meant to strengthen you, to strengthen you, just to remind you that, you know, the circumstances that you're in is not meant to break you. It's meant to build you up. It's meant to make you aware of how strong you are, so that as you just continue to move forward in life, you have to know you're gonna become a more wiser, stronger, and a more consistent person, who that, you know, when times do happen in the future, you can always go back to that moment that happened and say, like, I've already been through this, so I know this won't break me. So you just have to remember everything that God has brought you through, and just know that he's giving you strength for that situation and much more for the ones to come. So just continue to change your perspective on just your circumstances, the situation you're in, and just look at your situations like, what is God trying to teach me in this moment? What is he trying to build in me in this moment? And I think if we can just focus on just changing our perspective of how we see things, then I think we can develop that same humility that Inky has, and just continue to become the people that, you know, God has destined us to be. So just so much good. And I just thank you for sharing this, Joe, because I've always heard of Inky Johnson, but I never just took the time to actually listen to it. So just hearing it this morning with you, man, and just seeing everything that you and Steph are going through, and how you guys just do not miss a beat. You just continue to show up, because, you know, like, so many people dreams are tied to, like, you guys' commitment and you guys' heart, and just we admire you so much. And I just want to let you guys know, like, you guys are our heroes. We see what you do on a daily basis, and it just motivate us to want to do better, to want to do bigger, and just to want to do more in general, because we know, like, we can help and just do so much more for this world. And you guys are inspiration to us and just so many others, man. So just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for just continuing to show up each and every day, despite the circumstances that you're going through, and just using that just to grow closer to each other, and just continue just to inspire us in just so many new ways, man. So just thank you guys.
Oh, thanks, Jay. That's awesome. That was rapid fire amazingness right there, guys. So I'm gonna try and keep that going. I don't even know where to begin, but I want to start with the first statement that he said: "You are not your surroundings." I love, at such a young age, he knew that he had to stay rooted where he was in order to give people the awareness that if he can do it, they can do it too. So wherever you're currently at right now, use your dream to tie it to the dreams of other people, so that when you accomplish it, those around you will know that it is absolutely possible. That was huge. And, you know, everybody knows quitting is not an option. You know, quitters never win and winners never quit. That's a big thing. But what I loved about it is your driving force can't just be about you, because you will easily quit on yourself. You need to tie it to other people's dreams as well. Because once you accomplish your dream, what is left for you? But if you tie it to your team and your team's success, that's why if you look at the people that are having the most success with It Works right now, they're the people that are lifting and elevating their team, not just shouting from the rooftop, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." They're talking about the next rock star they signed. They're always talking about how their team is doing. So make sure that even if you're a team of one right now, that next person that you sign up, invest in them and watch the return take place. Just like Tay was saying, God only gives you tests that he knows you can pass. Let that sink in for a second. That doesn't mean that you will pass it, because that's on you. But God has only given you a test that you can pass. But it's up to you to put in the studying and the work to pass it. As long as you can make sure someone else's life is good, God will always make sure your life is good. Man, that right there was solid gold. Perspective drives performance. Guys, this was probably my biggest note taking. How you view what you do always affects how you do what you do. You know, it's the difference between looking back on your life and using it as an excuse for why you can't do something versus the fuel and the motivator for why you can do something. Also going to the devotional portion of it and being disciples, who you surround yourself with will help you get up, out, and through whatever it is you're in. You know, iron sharpens iron. If the people around you are not your biggest fans and cheerleaders, it's time to change those people up. The thought process of process over product. Fall in love with the process of things, not the outcome of it. You know, the thought process of, I'm only going to do this if it gets me this result. Well, what if you have to do the process so that you can learn, because it's going to be tied to something different that you have to do that will produce the result? If you don't fall in love with the process, you may not learn the skills necessary to advance yourself 3 or 4 steps down the road where you'll have the multiplication effect. Sometimes your small addition pieces in the process lead to the large multiplication processes down the road. True courage is the ability to start something without the guarantee of an outcome or success of it. Going through the process is going into the unknown and committing to it and staying in there longer than most people will. And that's why the most people that will don't end up with the success. Oh, and another, gosh, so many stars here on these notes. All the good in life is on the other side of the unknown. I mean, that's like John Maxwell's, everything worthwhile is uphill all the time, but it's also on the other side of the unknown. Talking about the transactional mentality about, are you going to stick to what you said you're going to do long after the emotion that you had when you made that decision is gone? Are you going to stick to it? Are you going to basically do what you said you were going to do after the motivation is gone? That's why, you know, we've talked a lot on motivation and how motivation always isn't the best determiner of how successful somebody's going to be, because motivation is based on a feeling, an emotion. And then when that emotion changes, the motivation is gone. That's why we teach people to create habits and discipline, because that's almost the autopilot of success. Motivation is kind of a gas pedal that'll get something started, but eventually the speed is going to stop and it's just going to be consistent. And that's where the autopilot of habits and discipline take over. Whew. Character is not something you can inherit. It's something that you constantly have to build. And I love this. Don't tell me about what you're going to do when it all goes right. Show me what you're going to do when it's not going exactly the way you want it to. That is where character decides to show up. And the last thing that I've got to say are these last 2 amazing thought processes. Play the hand you are dealt as if it was the only one you ever wanted. Because there's someone out there doing more than you with less and a worse situation and having amazing success. Guys, if you get a chance, follow Inky Johnson. Go back and re-listen to this Ed Mylett conversation with Inky Johnson. Unbelievable. Go out, make it an awesome week. We can't wait to see you back here again soon. Have a good day.